Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. Today we're going to be going through a little bit of my workflow as I've been editing and trying to figure out the best way to make sure I'm getting true colors drawn out of my photos and out of my video, and also that's getting styled right. I've been coming up with kind of a custom workflow that I'm going to work with for a while until I've got the money that I can invest in a good color correct monitor. Now I do happen to have a Razer Blade 2015 laptop that's supposed to have anywhere between, from my reading, it looks like 98 and 101% sRGB coverage, which is great because I need to know when I'm editing stuff how it actually looks. I've had it happen a few times now where I edit something and I think it looks decent on my HP monitor here that I use, and then I get it onto my phone to post to Instagram and it looks completely different. So let's see if we can't get everything set up so I can have as seamless a workflow as possible. So let's start off by diving into Lightroom. Alright, so I've got my laptop here and we're actually going to start off with seeing just how easily I can pull in my current Lightroom catalog and see if that doesn't work. Now a little background for why I'm trying to set everything up the way I am. Come with me for a sec. So this here is my setup. I've got 3 monitors here. I know it's crazy. They're all different monitors. I've got the newest monitor here is this HP 27VX. Nice 27-inch. You know, it does pretty decent. But I found out that it only has about 78% sRGB coverage, which is nowhere near accurate enough for what I'm trying to do. This is probably possibly the oldest monitor here. It's a Samsung 24. It's a 2443BW. We've had this for years. I mean, this is over 10 years old. I mean, I've resurrected this monitor. No, that was a different monitor. No, I think I fixed something about this monitor too. Then this is an Asus, which I don't know how old it is, but out of these 3, this is probably the closest one to being color correct, but I like the larger size of the HP. Now, the way all this is going to all kind of work is I don't actually store basically any of my files on my computer. So I've got my dusty desktop down here. I actually store pretty much everything on this. This is my Dell R710. This is a 6-bay server that I've had running. I've got about maybe close to 2 terabytes in that. So I've got close to 2 terabytes, I believe it is, in that, which is not enough. I've got about 200 gigabytes free at this point, and it's filling fast. So that's going to be a project coming up where we're going to rebuild that. I'm probably going to put in a Threadripper 1950X in it, so we're going to have lots of cores, lots of threads. So I'm going to try to offload most of my encoding to the server and such. It also runs my Plex server. It does my file sharing. It does, if I'm running backups, it does my backups. But literally all my files run on that thing. There's literally hardly any files on my actual computer. So if that thing goes, everything goes. The nice part about having all my files on the server is it means I have them everywhere. Because all I've got to do is connect to the server and I have the files. So all my pictures, all my videos, they're already on there. I just need to get the program set up so that they can read it and make sure all the settings sync correctly. Alright, so here we are on my laptop. So in order to get this to work, I'm actually going to have to sync this over a file server. That will ensure that both computers have the most recent version of the catalog. So I've actually had to reset up my C file server. So it's currently doing its thing. Let's go ahead and try connecting though through here. So I actually found that my server was not running. It was having a lot of issues. So I've gotten it updated. It's actually, we've changed repositories to an official version from C-File. And we're trying not to lose any files right now. We're going to get everything migrated over. We're going to get the default catalog loaded in. And we should be good to go from that point. We've got the Lightroom library added in now. That's got our catalogs in it, in particular our quote-unquote default catalog that we need. So we're going to go ahead and sync this. This should actually come, yep, that's where we want it to be. We'll go ahead and say okay, downloading the file list. So that's about 2 to 3 gigs, so that'll probably take a hot minute. Alright, so that's all finished syncing, so let's make sure that this is working now. So let's open Lightroom back up again. let's go to open our catalog. And so we don't want that one. We're going to have to clean that up. So let's go ahead. Let's go Documents, Lightroom, Defaults, Relaunch Lightroom. Yes. Your catalog must be updated before we can use plugin. Sure. Okay. There we go. Alright, so that worked. Obviously, this isn't my other computer, so I don't have the H drive. I'm going to figure out, I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do about that. That's kind of interesting. My desktop has one more drive, so that's kind of odd. And obviously, I don't have those folders either locally. So long as I make sure everything is hosted on the server, it's not saying that there's an issue with any of these. All of these have their ratings. It looks like we've got our edits. Let's go ahead and sort 3 and above. All right. All right, there we go. So that's working great. All right, so that'll help me. That'll help with the pictures. I can go back and forth easy enough. So I can do preliminary edits, just going through everything real easy on the desktop. I can do the actual color stuff on the laptop. So now we just need to get our Davinci Resolve moved over to using a database that will be hosted on Alright, so that's great. That'll work really well. That'll allow us to be able to edit both on the desktop and on my laptop. On the desktop, more for just going through, figuring out what's good, what's bad. On the laptop, for actually getting stuff where I want the colors. Now all we need to do is get Davinci Resolve to the point that I need that. To do that, so we've actually already got a Postgres database that is running on the server. So the server runs unraid, so I can add containers like crazy. I've got a Postgres on there already, so we're going to get Davinci on my desktop connected to that server. That way we can start putting all of our project files there. That way we can sync them between the two computers. I can do a lot of the editing on my desktop with my multiple monitors, and then when it's time to do color correction, I can move to the laptop. So let's dig into that. Let me see, we've got all of our local projects here. All right, so let's go ahead and create a new Postgres database. So we are going to change this to Postgres. We're going to create. We will just call this Unraid, since it's going to be on our Unraid server. Location. Ooh, well, that's problematic. All right, so I did some double checking. I did confirm. In order to add a remote database, which is what we want to do, in order to add a remote database, you have to have the paid version. So I've just been putting that off in part because I've just been trying to get a feel for Davinci, see how I like it and stuff. It doesn't always run at a smooth frame rate. I am beta, so that might be part of it, and I might need to transcode some of my files or something, use an intermediate when I pull them off of my camera and for editing and such. So we'll look at that, we'll get that resolved, and we will come back sometime. Alright guys, so it's been a few days. We've got our box here. Inside of here we've got our Davinci Resolve Studio key. So we'll be able to get that put in, and then we'll be able to finish getting the SQL server set up, or our Postgres server set up. So I'll probably put this on all 3 of my machines. I'll put it on my laptop for the color correction, my desktop for the general editing, and then onto a VM on the server for most of the encoding. Now it will probably be slower than if I just ran it on my desktop. In fact, I can pretty much guarantee that it will be. However, there is the benefit of I can do something else on this computer then while it's encoding. So let's see what happens. Alright, so I just got the activation in on the first machine, on my main machine. It says I have 1 activation left. We're definitely going to use that on the laptop. I'll probably try it on the server anyways and just see what happens. I know I've read some stuff about only being able to use 1 at a time, or maybe you can use 2 at a time, but only a max of 2 can be active at a time. So I think it pings the server each time or something just to see what's going on. But let's see what happens. Alright, so I've been able to do some investigating. It did seem to register on all my devices. It did seem to activate and everything. When I did activate on the 3rd computer though, it said that it was clearing previous activations. However, all three do seem to be working. I don't know if it's in the background migrating things around or not, or what's going on, but everything's still working. It hasn't complained yet. Hopefully if it does start complaining, we'll be able to clear it up easy. What I didn't anticipate though is since my server, because of the configuration that it is, it actually does not have a GPU in it. I have not put a GPU in it. All the GPUs I have, I don't even think I have any more here. I think I've given away all the ones that I did have. They all required power. None of them didn't require power, and there's no way for me to get power to a GPU like that in my server currently the way it is built. With my rebuild, I will, and I will probably have a few GPUs in it. So, but with my current one, I can't even launch Davinci Resolve then because it looks for a GPU, it can't find one, and I can't just tell it that there is none. So we'll still just be encoding on my desktop, which is fine. I can start multiple projects if I want, and I can get to the point where maybe they're kind of staggered, where I finished editing one so I can color it, and then once I finish coloring, I can have it start rendering out on my desktop while I color the next one on my laptop. But let's go ahead and dive back in to how we need to set up our servers so that we can share our project between the computers. Alright guys, so we've got our new version of Resolve Studio installed. So let's go ahead and open this up. We've already got our activation code in. Alright, so we've got this open. So what we need to do is we actually need to get onto our server and we need to create the database that we're going to be connecting to. So let's go ahead, we're going to navigate to my server. So here we are in pgadmin 4, which is also hosted on my server. It's a Docker that I've got running alongside my Docker for the actual Postgres server. And we're going to go ahead, we're going to create another database in here. We're going to create a database just for our Davinci stuff. So we're just going ahead and call it Davinci. Owner is going to be Postgres. That's fine. I don't have another user in here yet. I'll probably change that in a little bit. So we'll go ahead, we'll save that. That'll create our new database for Davinci. Go ahead, make sure that all looks good. All right, so now we'll go ahead and go back out to Davinci. Now that we've got Davinci launched, we can do a new database. We can either create right from inside Davinci, we can create a Postgres, or we can connect. Now I've created one already, so we're going to go ahead and try to connect to that. So let's get our information in here. All right, it's creating the database. All right, so you can see we've got a database here now, which if we create this though, then we can probably, maybe we can't change the thumbnail. It'd be nice if we could change the thumbnail. Okay. So we've got this here now. We have an option to either optimize or disconnect. I'm not sure what exactly optimize will do. I am curious though if we can move some of our existing projects to our Postgres. So we might look into that soon because obviously I want to move some of these so that I can keep working on them on my laptop. So it'll be the same story on my laptop to connect to this. I'll wind up going new database, connect, Postgres. I'll put in the location, which is the address of my server, the name of the database, the username for that database, and the password associated with that username. So now all I'd have to do to create a new project is just open this untitled project. We would save. So let's go ahead and save this as, this will likely be my new template, since I don't know yet if we will be able to copy this over. So this will create a new template project for us in the database. So now we will go ahead and we will try connecting to my laptop and opening up this template. So let's go ahead though. Let's move everything back to a single screen just for convenience for recording. And let's add in our music. Just to get something in here. All right, so that gets something in here. We'll go ahead and save that. That way we can make sure that it's really working. Go ahead and quit. Close that. All right, we're going to go ahead. We'll connect to the database. All right, and there you can see the template that we just made. We'll go ahead, tell it to open that. Cannot write permission for a selected gallery path. Oh, okay, so we're going to have to tweak a few settings. Ensure the permission is set up correctly for... All right, so we are probably going to have to tweak that so it's actually a shared path. You can update the gallery path. Okay. Might have to double check what the gallery path is too. See if we really need that or not. Because, yeah, that's definitely not going to work because I have no H drive on the laptop. Screen's blank. Oh, it's not rendering. Oh my gosh. Well, this is horribly awkward. So for some reason, connecting remotely on my laptop, Davinci, the UI is not rendering, but it is working on my laptop. I can indeed confirm that it is working. So this is great. This is fantastic. All right, and so with that, I will now be able to do the bulk of my editing. I'll be able to do my audio work and everything, all of my cutting on my desktop, and then once I'm ready, I'll be able to move the project over to my laptop, and there I will be able to do the color correction, make sure the colors are good, apply any sort of grading that I want to get the style or look that I'm going for. So I'm really kind of excited about this. I've been trying DaVinci the last several weeks with the last probably half dozen videos I've done. I was using Adobe Premiere before, but it's a really old version. It's CS5, so it's over a decade old at this point. And it wasn't keeping up anymore with the things that I'm trying to do. But anyhow, that's about how I've got my workflow set up right now. I'm going to start working soon on a program that I will have running on my desktop that will help import all of my photos and videos and get them sorted and transcoded for editing just by plugging in my SD card. And so I'm probably going to do some tutorials, do some videos on the development of that, how we're going to go about that, how it works and such. I will make that program available. I will open source it, that way multiple people can contribute and such. And I'm hoping to get it to work on not just Windows, but I'm hoping to make it so that it can be cross-platform. People with Macs will be able to use this. Hopefully even Linux users could use it. So everyone can really benefit from the smallest guy all the way up to the industry level. So anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it educational. I hope you found it informative. If you have questions or if you're running into issues with any of this, let me know in the comments below. I'll do what I can to help you out. Otherwise, consider liking this video if you liked it, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and hit that notification bell so you know when I post. And I will see you guys next time. So long.